The following is the balance sheet of a company as on 31/3/2003. Now in this question, if you read adjustment 3, what is given to you? Goodwill is to be valued at 4 years purchase of super profit. First we will find goodwill. And then at the end, last sentence, page 62, find out the intrinsic value of shares ignoring depreciation or revaluation of assets. But to find the value of shares, first we will find the value of goodwill. Okay, and then when we find the value of shares, we'll take same value of goodwill what we have calculated in the valuation of shares. Not the goodwill value which is given in the balance sheet. Did you understand this? Let us discuss from the point of view of goodwill as well as shares. See, liability side, equity shares will not be included in both, neither in capital employed nor in shares. Even general reserve, P&L will not be included. Even provision for depreciation on machinery will not be included. We will be taking machinery's market value, fair market value. Staff welfare fund. Now, staff welfare fund is a reserve. Because welfare, whenever we require, we do it, otherwise we don't have it. So it is a reserve, it will not be included. Which are the external liabilities? Proposed dividend and creditors. Put tick on the two. Even proposed dividend is not an external liability. Do we have preference shares?
No.
It means the dividend is to be paid to equity shareholders. It is not an external liability. So only creditors is an external liability. Put tick on that. Asset side. Goodwill will not be included in goodwill valuation. Goodwill will be included in shares valuation, but not this goodwill. The goodwill which we find. So don't put tick on that. Machinery, tick. Furniture, tick. Building, tick. Stock, tick. Debtors, tick. Bank, tick. Advertisement, tick. In shares also we include all these assets, and goodwill also we include all these assets. What about preliminary expense? No. And in shares we subtract liability, and goodwill also we subtract liability of sundry creditors. Sundry debtors included 20,000 which may be irrecoverable. So first of all, what debtors amount will you take? 2 lakhs minus 20,000, you will take 1 lakh 80,000. So against that sundry debtors 2 lakh, right, minus 20,000. And also adjustment 5. Now, here when they say debtors include 20,000 which may be irrecoverable, then above balance sheet is on which date? Means it will affect profits of which year? 2002 to 3. So in that 2002 to 3's profits, 2,30,000, we will minus this 20,000 as bad debts also. Did you understand this? When we find goodwill, what is the first working we make? Average future maintainable profits. In that adjusted profits will minus this bad debts. As well as in debtors we will minus. Any doubt in this? Stock, machinery and furniture to be valued at 86 lakhs and 180. Now, when we find capital employed, what will you take the value of stock instead of 1 lakh? 80,000. Machinery instead of 750, 6 lakhs. Furniture instead of 150, 180. Will any of these things affect the profits? Will any of these things affect the profits? Stock will affect. Stock on 31/3/2003 means closing stock of 2002 to 3. 1 lakh's value is to be taken 80,000. So if in trading account credit side, the value of stock goes down, profit will also go down. So you minus that 20,000 fall in the value of stock in profits of 2002 to 3 also. Do you understand this? And we used to do that last chapter, undervaluation of stock, overvaluation of stock. It used to affect the profit. This is undervaluation. 1 lakh stock is taken as 80,000 means 20,000 is undervalued. Did everyone understand this? Further, goodwill is to be valued at 4 years. Purchase of super profit, normal return on capital employed in similar businesses, 10%. Profits and before tax. And we also need profits before tax only. Of 5 years are given as below. At 4 years. Company's profits are taxed at the rate of, so at the end will minus tax of 35%. We have to find the intrinsic value of shares. Did you understand this question? So what we are supposed to do in this question is, first we have to find the value of goodwill. Okay, so write down. First we find value of goodwill. Now very first, what do we do in valuation of goodwill? Average future maintainable profits. For that very first, particulars, and we find the adjusted profit. So particulars, and which 4 years are given to you? 1999 to 2000, 2000 to 2001, 1 to 2, and 2 to 3. Okay. Very first, from adjustment 5, we start with profits before tax. 1,40,000, then 1,90,000, then 1,60,000, then 2,30,000. Now, which adjustments will have what effect? First, bad debts. What do we have to do with that bad debts? 20,000. In which year? 2002 to 3. And also undervaluation of stock. That is also decrease of 20,000. That again we have to minus in which year? 2002 to 3. And because it's 2 to 3, there is no opening stock of next year. Had it been 1 to 2, then effect would take place in 2 to 3 also. What is the time? 6 to 7 was supposed to be the time. Why do you think so much? For timings you don't think so much, for studies only you think. Yes, any other adjustment in the profits? So 1,40,000, 1,90,000, 1,60,000, and 1,90,000. These are what? Adjusted profits. Is any trend visible? No. Will we use simple profits or weighted profits? Simple profits only. So, years and profits. Years 1999 to 2000, 2000 to 2001, 1 to 2, 2 to 3. Profits will take 1,40,000, 1,90,000, 1,60,000, 1,90,000, 6,80,000. So therefore, average profits will be equal to simple average, simply total profit 6,80,000 divided by number of years 4, 1,70,000. Any doubt in this? Raj, what else? After this? Then yesterday also you did not come, morning, evening both. Agam, what next? will minus the tax at the rate of 35%. What is that? 59,500. 1,10,500 will be average future maintainable profits. That you were present yesterday, morning or evening, one time. And day before yesterday also Monday, Sunday. Average future maintainable profits. Is everyone clear with this? Now what is the second step? We have to find capital employed. Will we use closing capital employed or average capital employed? Yes? Average capital employed. Nothing is mentioned. All the questions we have done so far, every question it has been mentioned, take capital employed as on 31st March or take closing capital employed as everywhere been mentioned. I told you in both the chapters there is only one such question where it is not mentioned. This is the one. If nothing is mentioned, we have to use which capital employed? Average capital employed. How do you find the average capital employed? I told you only third formula we will use. How do you find that? Closing capital employed minus half of current year's adjusted profit after tax. That is what we are going to use over here. Okay, let us do it. First, let us find closing capital employed, fair value of assets. But keep in mind, nothing is mentioned means we will use which capital employed? Average. In exams also you will do this. Okay, fair value of assets. Now in goodwill, we have to include fair value of which assets? Will we include goodwill? No. Machinery? Yes. Adjustment to what value? 6 lakhs. Then furniture, what value? 1,80,000. Building, 3 lakhs. Stock, adjustment to 80,000. Debtors, adjustment 1. 2 lakhs minus 20,000. 1,80,000. Bank balance 30,000. Advertisement will we include? No. Advertisement suspense is a other non-current asset. Okay, that we will not include. There is a fictitious asset that will not include. Even preliminary expense we will not include. So 6, 7, 80, 10, 80, 11, 60, 13, 40, 13, 60? 1370. 13,70,000 less fair value of liabilities, external liabilities. Now, creditors 2,20,000. Only one, so directly in outer column we can subtract it. Means 11,50,000. What is this? Wage. 220 euro minus. Closing capital employed. Now here nothing is mentioned, so we have to use which capital employed? Average capital employed. So how do you find average capital employed? Closing capital employed minus. Means from this closing capital employed I have to further minus less half of adjusted profits after tax of current year. Okay, adjusted profit after tax of current year. Now listen carefully, what is this adjusted profit after tax of current year? Understand? First of all, can I say this is the adjusted profit of current year? Yes or no? Current year is 2023. What is the adjusted profit of current year?
1,90,000.
But this is profit
Before tax.
and we have to use half of adjusted profit. So from this 1,90,000 we will minus the tax rate of
35%.
35%. Okay, means
1,335.
we have to take half of 1,90,000 minus 35%. That means we have to take half of, what is 1,90,000 minus 35%?
1,23500.
1,23500. What does that come to?
61750.
61750. If you minus it, 10 lakh
10,88,250.
88,250 is average capital
Employed.
employed. But when do we have to do this? When nothing is specified that we should use closing capital employed. Okay, otherwise all the questions of goodwill chapter what we have done, everywhere it has been mentioned that use closing capital employed. So all are clear on to the calculation of average capital employed. Now tell me for super profit method number what next? How do you find normal profits? Yes, normal profits is equal to capital employed into normal rate of return. Which capital employed we will take here? Average, nothing is mentioned, so we will take 1088 250 into 10% is given.
Yes.
108825. Any confusion up there here?
No, sir.
Then sum up what next?
Super profit.
How will we find that?
Future maintainable profit minus normal profit.
Yes, super profits is equal to average future maintainable profits minus normal profits. Further,
1,10,500 minus
yes, average future maintainable profits are 1,10,500 minus
1,08,825.
1,08,825. So 1675.
Yes.
Any confusions? Then the page for next.
Sir, goodwill.
Goodwill is equal to
Super profit into number of years purchase.
super profits into number of years purchase.
9 months.
700.
Now what are super profits?
167.
1675 into how many years purchase is given in the question? 4 years purchase adjustment free.
6,700.
So 6,700 is the valuation of goodwill. Understood this portion?
Yes, sir.
Now we find value of shares. Why we have to find this value of goodwill? Why did we have to find this value of goodwill? Because now we will find value of shares and that will include goodwill of 6,700. Okay, now how do we find valuation of shares by intrinsic value method? What do we do first? fair value of all assets. That will include trade also, non-trade, but non-trade we don't have it only. And goodwill also. Minus external value. Means we have to do this all again.
Yes.
Logically, should we do this all again? We have to take fair value of all assets. Trade, non-trade, as well as goodwill. Only goodwill is to be added, that's it. No need to work out the entire thing again. If there were non-trade assets, then that would also have been added. And what do we minus in that? And what else? Preference. Here preference is not there, otherwise that we would have subtracted. In short, when you are already finding the value of goodwill, then don't do the entire calculation again. What are extra things to be included? Only add and subtract that directly in 11,50,000. What extra things are to be added in that 1150 if given? Goodwill and what are to be added? Goodwill and non-trade assets. So if investments are given, goodwill is given, add that in closing capital employed. And what do we do minus which we did not subtract over here? Preference share capital. Only that thing is to be done. Directly you will do closing capital employed plus goodwill plus non-trade assets minus preference share capital. Directly you get net assets available for equity share. No need to do this entire exercise.
Okay.
Is everyone clear with this? So how will we get value of shares? Directly we'll start with closing capital employed, which is 11,50,000 plus goodwill, that is 6,700. Then we don't have non-trade assets and we don't have preference share capital. So 11,56,700 is net assets available for equity shareholders. Did all of you understand this? Now we can apply the formula of intrinsic value of shares. Therefore, intrinsic value of shares is equal to net assets. We have done it morning only and he has done the homework. Net assets available for equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. What are the net assets available for equity shareholders we got? 1156,700 upon number of equity shares. See in the balance sheet, liability side. 8 lakhs divided by 10. Equity share capital is 8 lakhs and face value is 10. So number of shares will be 80,000. 8 lakhs divided by 10.
14.458.
Rupees 14.446. So rupees 14.46 is the value of equity shares. Did everyone understand this? Anyone having any doubt in this? So all are clear with this portion? Now look at question number 2. Clear in there? Balance sheet of JG Limited as on 31/12/2005 was as follows, rupees in thousands. Will we take 5 lakh equity shares of 10 each? Okay, here also, is there any valuation of goodwill given to be done? Yes, see the last sentence. Find out the intrinsic value of 100 different categories of equity shares. For this purpose, goodwill may be taken as 3 years purchase of super profits. Dividend distribution tax has been ignored. So here also first we have to find the value of goodwill. Okay. Now, balance sheet of JG Limited as on 31/12/05 was as follows. Will we include 5 lakh equity shares of 10 each? No. 8 lakh, okay, here and then fully paid up. Will we include 8 lakh shares of 10 each, 8 paid up? No. In calculating capital employed, and here we don't include it. But unlike 8 paid up, means can I say 2 rupees is notional call I explained to you in the morning? We have to add that 2 rupees into 8 lakhs, 16 lakhs at the end. And from the final answer, we have to subtract 2 rupees to get the value of this share, as I made you write in the note. Same way, 10 lakh equity shares of 5 each and then fully paid up. Means, can I say 5 is the face value?
Yes.
That second note will apply. We have to take all the shares of 10 rupees face value. So if 10 lakhs into 5, 50 lakhs is the share capital. If that was of 10 rupees face value, it would be equal to how many number of shares? 10 lakh equity shares of 5 each means 10 lakhs into 5, 50 lakhs is the share capital. If it was of 10 rupees face value, it would be equal to how many number of shares? 5 lakhs. So when we count this number of equity shares, then we will take 5 lakhs first month plus 8 lakhs second month plus 5 lakhs third month. We will not take 10 lakhs. We have to take the number of equity shares as I discussed in the morning as if all of them have same face value. First two already have a face value of 10, but the third one has a face value of 5. So if it was of 10 rupees face value, then instead of 10 lakhs, it would be equal to how many number of shares? 5 lakhs. So instead of 10 lakhs, we will add how many number of shares? And then at the end, we'll make a comparison. That for 10 rupees, the value is 14.46, so for 5 rupees, how much? Did you understand this? Once again, what will you do with that 8 paid up? 2 rupees is notional call. Did you understand 8 paid up, right? 2 notional call. 2 notional call. Now what will you do with the total? What is the total amount of notional call?
16 lakhs.
16 lakhs. That you'll add here. And then 2 rupees you'll minus.
Okay, 5 lakhs.
Okay. Further, this third share is of what face value? 5. So when we find the number of equity shares, we'll take 5 lakhs plus 8 lakhs plus 5 lakhs. Instead of 10 lakhs, we'll take 5 lakhs. Any doubt in this? Yes. General reserve? No. Profit and loss? No. Debentures? Take term loan? Take creditors? Take tax provision? Take proposed dividend? No. Proposed dividend you have to pay to equity shareholders. It is not an external liability. Fixed assets? Take investment in subsidiaries? Investment in subsidiaries is an investment in business. You have invested in your subsidiary companies only, your small companies only. So that is trade asset. Take. Other non-trade investment, here they will not include it. So don't do it right now. Initially we have to find this. And here, directly in closing capital employed, we will add this non-trade investments. So don't pick on that. Initially we see from goodwill's point of view. Stock, take debtors, take advances, take cash in bank, take preliminary expense, no. Now profit and before tax. Very good, we also need before tax and then before deducting interest on convertible debentures. Now the point is, they mentioned convertible debentures. Means what do you mean by convertible debentures? Which are converted into equity shares. So from shares point of view and even goodwill's point of view, if debentures get converted into equity shares, would it be an external liability? If debentures get converted into equity shares, would it be an external liability? No. So look at adjustment 8. 50% of debentures are converted at the beginning of next year. Beginning of next year means same as end of current year. So 50% debentures which are converted don't remain external liability. And remaining 50% which are not converted only remain external liability. See, liability side what are 13% debentures? 6,000. Actually in the top of the balance sheet you can see rupees in thousands. So 6,000 actually means 60 lakhs. Okay? Out of that 60 lakhs, 50% is only an external liability which is not converted into equity shares. Means here when we find goodwill, then we'll not subtract debentures of 60 lakhs, we'll subtract 30 lakhs. And what if it was then 40% are converted in the beginning of next year? Then we would have taken 60 lakhs into 60%. That's what I'm saying. It's 50%, so both the sides it's coming same. Logic. 50% will get converted into equity shares. Same way 40% will get converted into equity shares. What will remain external liability? 60%. Okay, further. In profits, we have to pay interest only on that debentures which are converted or not converted. Not converted. Here we will take even 50%. Means we will not take interest of 13% on 60 lakhs. We will take interest of 13% on 30 lakhs and minus it directly from average profits because this to be done on all the years. Okay. Or else you minus it from each year. Both the treatments are correct. Okay. And if it was given 40% are converted, then you would have taken 60 lakhs, 40% is 30% or 60% is 30%?
60%.
40%. You have to pay interest on which debentures, which are converted or not converted? Not converted. So 40% are converted means we would have taken, 60%. Correct? We would have taken 60%, which are not converted, only that interest we would have paid. Means here you would have taken 60% and there also you would take 60%. Here coincidentally it's 50%. Is everyone clear with it? Further. So unlike before deducting interest on convertible debentures, there what will do is interest will directly minus it from average profits. Okay? But not 60 lakhs 13%, will minus 30 lakhs 13%, which is not convertible. The profits of last 5 years are given 2 crore 44 lakhs, 1 crore 32 lakhs, 2 crore 74 lakhs, 3 crore 32 lakhs and 3 crore 50 lakhs. Second adjustment. Non-trade investments earned at 20% on an average. On an average means it is not related to 1 year, it is related to all the years. So either you minus it from all the years or you directly minus it from average profits. Mark it as minus. I hope you remember this. Non-trade investments income we have to minus because it is not a business income. Expected increase in expenditure without commensurate increase in selling price 60,000. Expected increase in expenditure means in future. Expected increase in expense means in future. So what will you do with that? If expense will increase in future, profit will increase. Profit will decrease. So what do you have to do with that? Minus. But where? In specific year or from average? Which specific year? You do it from average. It's a future related expense. It is not related to past. Expected increase in expenditure in future, it is expected. So directly from average profit further we have to minus 60,000. Mark it as minus. Same way annual research and development expense in future. So what we do? Minus from average. Expected foreign currency loss in future. Annualized. So what we do again? Loss means minus expected loss in future but from average. Expected tax rate 45% and normal return is 15% on the basis of capital employed. And 50% debentures effect we have already discussed. Any confusion in this? One more thing. All the points up till here are clear. Effect of debentures is clear. Here we don't have to minus 60 lakhs. We have to minus only 30 lakhs. But which 30 lakhs? Convertible or non-convertible? Non-convertible. Remaining 50%. Coincidentally it's 50, so both the ways it comes 50. Here we have to minus interest because the profit is before interest. But again we have to minus interest of convertible or non-convertible? Non-convertible. That is again remaining 50%. And for debentures 60 lakhs. If they get converted into equity shares 50%, means 30 lakhs of debentures get converted into equity shares. So will that be also included in number of equity shares or not? That 30 lakhs, we have to take 10 rupees face value on equity shares. That 30 lakhs which will get converted into equity shares would be equal to how many equity shares? 3 lakhs. So in this number of equity shares we will include that 3 lakhs also. Did everyone understand that? These are all the effects. Now this is a very important question. Is everyone clear with all the points of debentures? In number of equity shares also we will include that 50. Here we will not include non-convertible. Here we will include convertible. So in case if it was given 40% are converted, then here we would include 60 lakhs, 40%, 24 lakhs. And 24 lakhs divided by 10 rupees face value, then how many shares? 2 lakh. Here you will include non-convertible, here you will include non-convertible, but here in number of shares you include convertible, which will really get converted into shares. Any doubts on this? Yes, that's all. First we will find average future maintainable profits. So, okay, adjusted profits are not there only. Any adjustment in specific year? Directly we have to start with years and profits. Is the trend visible?
No.
Trend is also not visible. So simple average or weighted average? Simple average will be done. Okay? Yes? Fine. But I'll finish it again. You understood the question, huh? Solution later, no problem. Question 2. First years in profits directly, because in specific year there is no adjustment. This is profit before tax, okay? Years 2001, 2, 3, 4 and 5. One more thing. Figures are very big, so let us also take rupees in thousands and solve it. Means 3 zeros we will eliminate everywhere. So instead of 2, 4, 4, 00, 000, remove last 3 zeros. We will take 2, 4, 4, 00. 1, 3, 2, 00. Yes, do the total. 129700. Therefore, average profits is equal to 129700 divided by 5. 25940. Okay. Now adjustment 2 minus income of non-trade investment. Asset side, how much is non-trade investment? 5,000. That is already in thousands. So again, don't cancel 3 zeros and just take 5. Okay, it's already given in the balance sheet at the top. It is rupees in thousands. So straight away 5,000 into 20%, that is 1,000. Understood that? We take rupees in thousands. Next, adjustment 3 minus expected increase in expense. Now, here they have given actual figure of 60,000. If you remove 1,000, we'll take only 60. Minus R&D in future. Again, instead of 1 lakh, we will take 100. Minus foreign currency loss in future. One lakh 20,000. Instead of that, we will take 120. And minus interest on non-convertible debentures. Remember, non-convertible. So if it was given 40% unconverted, we would have taken 60%. Okay, that is. Instead of 6,000, we'll take 3,000 into 13%. That is 390. Any doubt in this? All are to be subtracted only.
So final number 24270.
24270
270.
minus tax at the rate of 45%.
1091.5.
1092. So 2
1.5 है सर 1092 1.5
10922. If you minus that
13348
13348, that is average future maintainable profits. Any confusion in this? Okay, now we have to find capital employed. Any doubts on this? Want to leave? Now, capital employed, how we will be doing is fair value of trade assets. Don't wait for it. Fair value of trade assets means asset side. Now here no adjustments are given, directly we have to take the values from asset side. So fixed assets 28020. Here also will mention rupees in thousands. Then investments in subsidiaries will be included. $6040. Non-trade investment will not include. Stock 8060. Debtors 8040. Advances 5060. Cash and bank 1660. 56880 less fair value of external liabilities. Okay. In that we will include 13% non-convertible debentures only. So instead of 6,000 we will include 3,000. 18% term loan. 4,000. Creditors 2,000. Tax provision 8,000. So 3, 7, 9, 17,000.
73880
How much?
73880
We do minus
yes sir 39880
39880. That is closing capital employed.
380
Is everyone clear with this? Any doubts up till here? Now, apply this formulas all of you. Normal profits, capital employed into normal rate of return. Here it is mentioned at the end if you see use closing capital employed. Can you see that at the end? So here we will not find average capital employed, okay? Seventh adjustment it is given. In seventh adjustment it is given in bracket on the basis of closing capital employed. Tomorrow you don't have my class in the morning. I'll be taking in the evening at 6 o'clock only. Okay? By the way, now what capital employed we will use? 39880 into what is the rate of return? 15%. What does that come to? 5982. Average future maintainable profits 13348 minus 5982 7366 into how many years purchase?
3 years. 22098.
22098. 2 crore 20 lakh 98,000 is the super profits. Did you understand this? Yes, shall I proceed further? Now valuation of goodwill will start directly with closing capital employed. What is that? 39880. Now what all things we need to add which are not included in goodwill? First is goodwill itself, that is 22098. What else?
Other non-trade investments.
Means non-trade investments we have to add here. They are not included in goodwill but included in shares. 5,000. Okay. Anything else to be added? Well, these two are not included, so these two we have to add. What do you get the total? 6.
6978.
Yes. In this? No. Because here we have taken only non-convertible. You have not taken all. Yes, 6. 6978.
78.
What do we have to minus which we don't minus in capital employed? Preference share capital, but that we don't have. Be careful, otherwise you would subtract it here. Okay? This itself is net assets. Now in that, we have to add notional call in this question. In this question, we have to add the notional call, which is 8 lakhs into 2. 16 lakhs. 16 lakhs means remove the last 3 zeros. So it will come to 1600.
68578.
We added. So 6,
8578.
8578. This is net assets available for equity shareholders. Any doubts up till here? Okay. Now see, before we apply the formula, I am showing the number of equity shares separately. Because that is also an important point in this question. So, number of equity shares, I am showing it separately. Very first, we have 5 lakhs shares of 10 each fully paid up. We have 5 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each fully paid up. Here they will take number of equity shares as 5 lakhs itself. Okay. Then we have 8 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each, but 8 paid up. Still the face value is so we'll take 8 lakhs only. And this 2 rupees we have already added here. Then we have 10 lakhs equity shares of rupees 5 each, but we have to take them up 10 rupees. So 10 lakhs into 5. Its capital is 50 lakhs. If they are 10 rupees face value, they would be equal to 5 lakh shares. And convertible debentures. So convertible debentures 60 lakhs into 50%. 60 lakhs into 50% divided by 10 rupees face value. They will be equal to 3 lakh equity shares. Means total equity shares we have to take 5 plus 5, 10 plus 8, 18 plus 3, 21 lakhs. But if you remove the thousands, because all figures we have removed the 1,000. So instead of 21 lakhs, we'll take 2100. Did you understand this? Number of equity shares, show that also, that is important. And we have got the formula, we have to take 21 lakh equity shares. Now if we find intrinsic value of shares, it will be equal to net assets available for equity shareholders divided by number of equity shares. Means, what are the net assets available for equity shareholders? We'll take 6, 8, 5, 7, 8, and instead of this 3 zeros, if we remove, we'll take 2100. 30. This is the intrinsic value of shares, but it is a value of fully paid up shares. Means, see here. First one are 10 each fully paid up, their value is 32.66. And this last one, convertible debentures, that also we assume they will be fully paid up, their value will also be 32.66. Any doubts on this? Now this second one are 8 paid up. What is notional call on that? That we will minus. So, what will be the value of partly paid up shares? Partly paid up shares value will be rupees 30.66. This one's. What will be the value of this shares? 32.66. What will be the value of these shares? 30.66. Now these are 5 face value. Third one. For rupees 10 face value, the value is 32.66. So for rupees 5 face value, how much? 5 into 32.66 upon 10 means half of it, 16.33. Okay? Once again, all the 4 we discussed. What will be the value of this first category of shares? 32.66. Second category of shares? 30.66. Third category of shares? 16.33. And fourth category of shares? Again, 32.66. Is everyone clear with this? Any doubts on it? So, very important question. Okay? Your homework for tomorrow evening will be question 11A. Only shares is asked, goodwill is not there. Then no, don't take 13A right now. 11A then 16A. There also goodwill is not asked. Okay, 11 a.m. Your homework for tomorrow. Back in
好，